Hey, Pastor Jessica here with a word from the book of Luke, chapter 8. If you're reading along with us, that's the chapter we're in. And I hope that if you haven't read it already, you'll take the time to read it. But there's a few thoughts that I had from it that I wanted to share with you, and hopefully it will encourage you in your walk. The question I start out with today is your heart. What kind of soil is your heart? In the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 4, we see that there's a group of people, crowds of people that are following Jesus. They're all showing up to see what's happening. Maybe they're looking for a miracle. Maybe they're looking for his teachings. Maybe they have just heard about this amazing man and just want to see him. And so in this time, Jesus tells a parable. And I think it's fitting because there's a bunch of people here. And he talks about a farmer. A farmer went out and sowed his seed. And this is verse 5. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path. It was trampled on, and the birds ate it up. Some fell on the rocky ground, and when it came up, the plants withered because they had no moisture. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up with it and choked the plants. Still, other seed fell on good soil. It came up and yielded a crop 100 times more than was sown. When he said this, he called out, "Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear." Why is he telling this story? Well, I think this parable helps us to understand that we all have to kind of put our hearts in check. Why are we seeking God? And he talks about 4 different types of hearts that are seeking God. One is the person that just hears it and sets it down, walks away. It's easily forgotten, easily stolen from them. It's never really penetrated their hearts. Then there's the second one where they think it's great teaching. They're maybe excited about it. They believe initially, but they never really retain it and allow it to take root in their lives and change them. The third one is a heart that allows the Word of God to take root. They even begin to grow as a believer, but really don't weed their garden because the thorns of life, worries, the riches, pleasures, things that would keep our eyes off of God begin to choke out that heart, that person, because they're not focusing on the Word of God. They're focusing on the worries and the pleasure and the riches of life. And then there's the fourth, the soil that is good. And in verse 15, we see 4 things that we find in that good soil. 1 is honest heart seeking truth. 2, we find a soil that is ready to retain or keep secure or keep a hold on the Word of God. 3, we see there's a perseverance in that good soil and that they don't give up. They're continuing in their faith no matter what comes against them. And then that good soil eventually produces a crop. That means others are changed and turn to Jesus because of what is happening in that good soil. And so today I say it's okay to take a moment and reflect. I think many times we might see this and be like, oh, well, I'm one of these soils, can I change it? I think you can. A farmer, their whole life is to, cultivate good soil so that when they do put that seed in that soil, that it'll actually grow and produce that crop. And so if you want to follow after God, I think you got to take a heart check. And I think that you can produce the soil, that good soil in your life, so that when you read and hear the Word of God, it actually comes and will produce a crop in your life. But you have to ask yourself about your heart. Do you have a heart that is seeking truth? Are you honest about it? I think many times we can deceive ourselves. We can believe we're a good person. We can believe that we are a certain way, but at the end of the day, let's strip all of the walls and all of the stuff away and go, am I honestly seeking truth? Do I honestly want, because when the Word of God penetrates your heart, you will change. things will change in your life. And so, am I honestly seeking truth? That honest heart is what God needs, that one open to the word, open to truth. Two, we see that the seed was retained. When you think of retaining something, you think of keeping it secure, keeping a firm grip on that possession. And that means it's going to stay in my life. It's going to allow those roots to grow deep and allow the Word of God is going to change me and allow that salvation and forgiveness and that grace and mercy into my life. And all of a sudden, love, joy, peace, patience, those things are coming out of my life because I'm retaining the Word of God and allowing it to grow roots in me. The third thing is, do I have a heart that is persevering? Am I weeding my garden? Am I getting rid of the worries? Am I allowing the worries to overcome me? Am I seeking riches? Am I seeking to keep up with the people around me? Am I seeking to live a pleasurable life, only seeking for myself? Those things will choke you, because if you're trying to live for this world, you cannot live for God. If you are worried about what you can't control, then you can't trust God. And so do you have a persevering heart that's not going to give up when those things try to encroach in? Are you weeding your garden, getting those things out so that you can persevere and not give up in hard times? And then the fourth thing that we see in a good soil is that when your heart is seeking truth and you've retained it, allowed it to have roots, and you're growing in your faith, the reality is those around you are going to be affected by that, and that's going to produce a crop. Other believers that are finding Jesus, finding salvation through the testimony of your life. And I don't know about you, but I want to be good soil. I have to continually check my heart when I go before God, and I have to say, I'm going to allow God to change me. I'm going to allow His Word to penetrate my heart, allow me to grow. And it's only when I get rid of the things in my life that would keep my eyes off of Him, and I allow His Word to change my heart, that I really begin to grow in Him. And so today I encourage you to take a look at your heart, and it's never too late to begin to seek God, seek His truth, and allow Him to do a good work in you. Because I promise, when you follow God, you will be fulfilled. You will find those missing pieces of your heart and mind that you need. You will be overflowing with joy and love and peace, patience, kindness. The fruit of God's Spirit will overflow in you, and it will affect those around you. People will know Christ because of the work that God is doing in your life. So I hope that encourages you today, and continue to read in the book of Luke. Tomorrow's chapter 9. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.